Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Mindset Kitchen podcast with your host Chef Hashim and Kareem. Hey Kareem, what's up? How's it going?
What's up, Chef? How are things? All good, all good. Excited for our very first video episode, man.
Yeah, so today is going to be our first episode where we also decided to add in the video. Now, this is for good reason because we've seen, people are consuming more video than audio these days. So let's see how it goes. We really hope, you guys like this format. So quickly, let's jump into the topic today. So Kareem, what's new, bro? What's happening? How's your week been so far?
Yeah, things are good. Went to the beach today. In Dublin, we have a sandy beach, but you can't really swim in the water, but you can at least walk on the beach. So, yeah, that's what I did today, man. And social distancing is in full order, so being on the beach but still being safe, hopefully.
Cool. I think so. Today's topic is around not around social distancing, and not. Don't worry, it's not going to be about COVID-19 as well. But
Is it about the beach? Were you at the beach as well this weekend?
no, bro, I was not at the beach. It just opened up here last week, but soon. I don't know. It's summer, going to start in Dubai, so it's not an ideal time for the beach because it's going to be super hot. So
Oh yeah. So
yeah,
I
so
see. I don't know what I forgot what that is, bro.
yeah, bro, it's just 40, 45 degrees soon, and I don't think so. If you go to the beach, ideally not good for not good for. It's not going
Not
to be
good
a
for
pleasant
anything.
experience.
It's
not good
21
for.
degrees here on the beach.
Yeah, so 21 degrees is like winter in Dubai.
Yep. Summer here.
Yeah, summer. Yeah. So, so like I was mentioning, so today's topic is going to be around. It's not going to be about the COVID-19, but the COVID-19 situation, this whole pandemic situation, has presented itself with see, 3 months back, 4 months back, I remember beginning of March, when we recorded our third episode. I was traveling, we were still recording, and the world was still, everything was operational. Fast forward 4 months, today a lot has changed. A lot has changed in the sense the way we are working, the way we are communicating, the way we are even doing business, even the way we are actually living our lives. So definitely this a lot has changed. But with change comes a lot of challenges usually. And different people usually, face these challenges and they overcome these challenges in different ways. So this is something that we want to actually discuss today, as in what kind of mindset to actually inculcate to face these challenges. And see, the word has been thrown around a lot, and when I initially discussed to Kareem about the topic, and I said let's talk about the new normal, yeah, and Kareem was like, bro, let's not use this word. Everybody's been using or abusing this word. But I think
Yeah.
but I think today's topic is definitely going to be about the new normal. So Kareem, in a nutshell, yeah. Now, like I was saying, there are still a lot of people who might have heard, but they have not yet come in terms to the new normal. What is the new normal as per to you?
Oh,
The way
man.
you've been looking at it, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, and but just going back to what you were saying, man, like I think it's just everyone is very much so talking about it, and everyone is calling it the new normal because that's really what it is. A lot of people are talking about it. Hopefully, for anyone who's seen content around that before, we're gonna try and give you like some fresh perspectives around this, something that's hopefully more on the practical side. But yeah, I mean, what it's just a matter of like right now people have overcome, I think, the initial shock. A lot of people have, a lot of people still haven't, but the majority of us, I think, are in this place where we're like, right, clearly this is here to stay. How do we not keep holding our breath? In the beginning, everyone was just holding their breath. They're like, this is terrible, we'll just wait till it passes. Now people are saying, yes, hopefully we'll wait till it passes, but let's be more on the proactive side as well, as much as opposed to being on the waiting side. So if we are on the proactive side, what are we going to do, assuming that this is in some way, shape, or form here to stay? Like if someone came and switched your whole world around, which is the reality for many of us, how are you going to accept this, and how are you going to build on top of it? And I suppose bonus points for who is going to be, and this is tough, but it's possible. We're surrounded by people who've done this. Bonus points for the people who are like, how am I going to be better off thanks to this? How am I going to put myself in a position where, I don't want to say benefit because it sounds wrong, but how can I put myself in a position where I'm actually thriving in this position, you know?
In this situation, you mean?
In this situation, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, Chef, I know when we were talking about it yesterday, you know, we were taught one of the first things that came to your mind, and I would love to hear more from you about that, is you said, man, it all starts with the obstacle is the way, right?
I think even though we'll discuss about the new normal, majority of today's episode is going to be us referring back to a couple of our old episodes. Yeah. But before that, I also wanted to, you know, like I asked you, what is the new normal? Because before doing this episode, even though we've been living the new normal for the past 3 or 4 months, okay, exactly saying the second week of March, and we're already on the 4th month. So I was actually thinking, what is the new normal for me? I think it starts from the way I've started working from home. I've started, and usually if it is like 20% of my time in a whole month at home and 80% outside, I think it's completely the opposite now. Okay, even the way, for example, how I communicate, like for example, how we've been communicating with each other. Yeah. We've been communicating more, like before the podcast, or even when we were doing the podcast before the pandemic.
Exactly.
So a lot has changed. Our relationships, our work, and most of it all, there is a lot of uncertainty. Okay. Now, you know, in the previous episode, we discussed about PERMA. Okay. Now, the 5 areas of framework to, you know, identify what is happiness, which defines happiness. So there are a lot of areas like engagement, okay, accomplishment, positive emotion, meaningful relationships. All these are kind of under attack for some people. Literally saying, because you're not able to practice your hobby anymore. Okay, for example, me, all of my hobbies was outside my home. Be it off-roading.
I was just gonna ask you what's an example of that, but yeah.
Bro, right there you go. Like, you know, I'm somebody who's, if it's a weekend, I'm outside in Dubai. If it's winter, I'm always camping. I'm in a wadi. If it's not winter, I'm somewhere else, but I'm never in my home. Okay, so for
man,
me,
that sounds fun and safe as well. Camping in a wadi, which is oasis in English, sounds like a lot of fun and safe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you were being you're being sarcastic or because
no, because you're there by yourself, right?
Yeah, literally saying yes, but you know there are also a lot of dangers which I don't want to mention right now. Like the smallest. Okay, anyways, let's move on from that. So coming back to the point of, you know, when you look at that framework, you know, you can't practice your hobbies, you cannot actually meet, you know, your close friends, and you know, if you know, see, I'm a very the way I actually connect, like if I see, I like to shake hands, I like to, you know, bring in a hug. You know, this is how I am usually. And living in Dubai, this is most of us. This is the culture here. This has had a very drastic change. Now, even Eid went by, you know, the celebration, okay, it's a festival for us. And just imagine, it was all over Zoom. So I'm like, there are drastic changes to our lifestyles, the way we conduct ourselves, the way we're dealing with people. And some of these things directly affect our happiness usually. And all this have changed. So today's episode, we want to actually discuss what is the mindset, okay? What kind of mindset, what kind of, things can we actually put into practice, and how can we actually change our worldview, okay? And what are some of the things that we can actually do? Now, this is something we can share personally, what me and Kareem have been doing as well. And one of the biggest challenges that people are going through also we'll discuss. So the first thing, you know, Kareem, now getting into the challenges, one of the first things that I've actually seen that people are really worried about is uncertainty. Okay, uncertainty with their jobs. Okay, uncertainty with their businesses, and overall there is this blanket of uncertainty. And how do you think, like, what's your opinion? Like, have you faced something like this similar, or is this something that you've not been thinking about?
In terms of uncertainty,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it's one of those things, man, that like, you know, when everybody goes through something, I feel like it cancels out, if that makes sense. Or in other words, and this should come as good news to many people, that yes, we are all uncertain. I'm uncertain too. Everyone's uncertain. So it cancels out, if that makes sense, as opposed to, you know, like God forbid, like imagine if this virus or this situation was only affecting, let's say, one country only.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Um, I suppose like it then these people will, you know, hardcore be facing uncertainty, whereas the rest of the world is like, I don't know what you're talking about, or I can't really relate. But the fact, so in this, and I think in that scenario, it would have been a lot more pronounced and a lot more, you know, contrasting and severe. But the fact that we're all going through it should come with just a sense of comfort and a sense of, you know, knowing that, hey, like, this is something that's affecting everyone. So it's on everyone's mind to solve this and to collaborate to help each other, because it's bigger than you and me. It's something that's affecting everybody right now. So yeah, I think it's really a matter of, and Chef, I think I was telling you about this yesterday when we were talking yesterday about something else, but we found ourselves talking about this where we were like, remember I was telling you, I was like, bro, I can't help but notice that I'm surrounded by people who, tell me if I'm jumping ahead, but I was going to say, I can't help but feel like I'm surrounded by people who are booming right now, who are experiencing like ridiculous levels of success that they did not achieve before. It's only happening right now for them, and they're like hiring, like they can't even keep up with the demand. And then you said, and I'm all the way here in Dublin, Ireland, which is like one part of the world. And then you said, man, Kareem, I see this as well on my side of the world. And so does this mean that things are good? Well, no, things are bad. But there's also some good happening. So both things, to me anyway, when you ask me the question, both of them exist. But, you know, it's all about what you choose to focus on. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But both of them exist. And so, like me, I used to have this thing where if I'm too positive for too long, I'll be like, Kareem, stop kidding yourself. Surely things cannot be that positive. Like, you have to be realistic.
Yeah, true.
But this, I was wrong, because no, I was choosing to focus on something specific, and both of them are correct. If there's a yellow car outside your house and a blue car, let's say yellow is good and blue is bad or whatever, like you it's just really all about what you focus on, because then it starts to affect your thoughts, it starts to affect your actions. Maybe you start to now research, you know what, let me actually read a bit more about who's succeeding right now. Why are they succeeding? Why is a company like Domino's Pizza probably, I mean, like, I'm not like a pizza expert, but, you know, they're probably booming right now. Okay, why is a company like Zoom booming? Well, Zoom is they're in the video conferencing space, they're in the online space. Okay, let me take a note of that. People need to eat, for example, they need a quick and easy meals. Okay, let me take a note of that. Delivery businesses are booming. So, and this is a reality. So, but sometimes, but it's your choice. You can also focus on reading the news where all the people who have lost their jobs, or all of the people who have, you know, unfortunately something bad has happened to them, and you just keep thinking about it and thinking about it. And you can focus on that as well, but which one is going to help you? And you need to be able to help yourself, because for most of us, we have a responsibility to help those around us as well. So I'm just going to end with this, Chef, and I'm going to hand it over to you. I went on a bit of a monologue, but the last thing I'm going to say is, you know, you have a responsibility to think positive. You have a responsibility to think positive, because other people are depending on you, and we cannot afford to see you watch bad news and have that affect your good thinking and your good actions. We cannot afford that. There's way too many people depending on you.
Yeah. And you know, interestingly, Kareem, you know, the question, you know, I think yes, but what you said, you know, we were going to discuss this anyways, but I think it's quite interesting that you mentioned this about, you know, it's all about, now this is again going back to obstacle is the way.
Yes.
Okay, when looking at the situation very subjectively. And as you mentioned, if whoever is listening, yeah, and like Kareem was saying, is everything good right now? Honestly saying, it's not. It would be us lying saying that everything is
Yeah.
all butterfly and sunshine, because in the past 2 to 3 weeks I've been dealing with so many people. And all of these people are people who've actually been affected with their jobs. Majority of them, I'm talking about easily 15 to 30 people who I've been speaking to. But again, I can't tell them this. There is a lot of good things happening in the world. But it was a difficult discussion with these guys. But coming back again, you can actually, if you decide, obviously this is not end of the world. Like literally, this is not. Definitely, there is a way that we can actually, come through this. But before I get into that, there is a few things some of us are actually, going through because of this new change. Like one of the biggest things, like I said, is uncertainty. And uncertainty of everything, be it your relationship. I know a lot of people, for example, my friends who got engaged. Okay, forget about the jobs and everything, and they were supposed to get married within the next 3 months. Their big fat wedding was supposed to happen. In the big fat Indian wedding was supposed to happen in December. Okay, and this month, for example, where we are staying, this is like the peak season for weddings. Now, because all this 50 to 100 to 1,000 weddings that got cancelled, this is not just affecting the bride and groom. The amount of businesses and people's livelihoods that are, the whole industry is kaboom. And today, the funny thing was, today we are looking at it, and we are having the end of day call with my team, and one of the guy was actually saying, what, this is, he decided to look at it in a very good manner. You know what? Because of the pandemic, I can save like 95% of the cost, where people are actually doing weddings on Zoom now. So just imagine it's so this is connecting to your point, okay? Now, so uncertainty is definitely going to be there. So one of the ways you can actually overlook uncertainty is focus on the things that you have control. Okay, because uncertainty in life can be into a lot of things. But if there are certain things, so just focus on the things that that you have under control, and challenge your need. One of the problem is people need, sometimes you are in a situation in your life where you need so much assurance. Okay, that can be the ways most of us actually operate by default. Try to change that about yourself. Challenge that.
I just wanna add something, because you said something very, very important right now, which is around like really looking at, like overlooking the uncertainty piece, and start to deliberately focus on the things that you have control over. Have you seen the Netflix documentary, the Michael Jordan one, The Last Dance?
No, I've not.
Okay, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Which one?
The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary on Netflix.
No, bro, I've not seen it yet, but I've heard a lot of crazy reviews on it. Yeah.
You gotta check it out. Anyone listening to this, you have to check it out. It's not about sports. It's about like just greatness in general. But anyways, there was one part, and it's not all about, it's about the highs and especially the lows as well. But there was one episode like towards the end, and don't worry, I'm not burning anything, where Michael Jordan and his team were having like a really tough time, something like that. And it wasn't necessarily like their fault, or like there were some external factors, but the situation was bad. I forgot when exactly it was. But one of the reporters like asked him, hey, like, are you worried about so and so? And he said, with like the most, like, he was so relaxed, even I got relaxed when I was watching it, and I wasn't even there. But he was saying, like, you know what, like without skipping a beat, he was like, yeah, but it doesn't make sense to me to worry about something that's outside of my control. He was like, so, like, he said it without missing a beat, like, this is just who he is, like it's like someone told him 1 + 1 is not equal 2, and he's like, it just doesn't make sense to me, like, it cannot enter my mind. You're telling me to worry about something that's out of my control? No, I'm gonna focus on what's in my control. I'm gonna worry about that. I'm gonna worry about what's in my control. And Chef, it's reminding me of the when we think about things that are within our control. Can you guess which topic it's reminding me of that we discussed before?
Bro, this whole discussion, I'm just referring myself back to obstacle is the way, bro.
Yeah, there's not. Go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, this is one topic, but no, remind me. I'm kind of.
It's kind of related to that, about lead and lag measures.
Okay.
Focusing
Okay,
on the
okay.
things that are within your control. Yeah.
Yeah, so people who are listening and you're thinking, what is lead and lag measures? It's another episode that we actually did about setting goals, and the bigger goals that are the lag, and lead are the small steps, the reps, which you actually do day in day out. Yeah. So again, like we said, the 80% of what we're trying to explain in today's episode about getting back, or trying to overcome this, be it uncertainty, trying to trying to get, be okay with uncertainty, and everything revolves around that episode, or this whole thing of obstacle is the way. And in a nutshell, obstacle is the way is like sometimes problems or challenges like these are actually what brings the best, or can actually bring the best in us or in our lives. For example, how we can actually have some great, some breakthrough in our life. So there is two more things, which I actually wanted to add as well. So we discussed about, the issue with uncertainty. Okay, how you can overcome is trying to focus on things that you can actually control, and challenge your need for certainty. Try to practice, bring your mental state to a place where it's okay not to have uncertainty, and try to inculcate a form of comfort. Okay, if for example your level of tolerance was 5% or 50% to X situation, usually, like for example, not having a secure job, or having a secure job is your most things that will freak you out. Try to bring it down from 100 to 50%. Because all this, generally what it results to is stress and anxiety. So if you actually try and get
Which
hold
doesn't
of
help anyone. Yeah.
it does not help anyone. And one of the other major things with this whole new normal scenario is, there's been a drastic restriction in movement. Okay. Now this is, I was just making a list of things that, see, uncertainty has never been an issue for me, by the way. Okay. I'm just talking, I think I'm kind of, I generally, uncertainty is something that I'm really used to. Okay. Being an entrepreneur, Kareem, I think uncertainty is part of every entrepreneur's journey. I'm not proud of it. Ideally, you should plan better, but this thing of restriction of movement is something that has equally affected the young and the old. Literally, in the physical sense, you have to sit at home. Okay, you cannot travel. Like, I'm somebody, in the past 5 years, every year I have, like, the second half of the year, I have traveled 2 or 3 times minimum. Like, I feel like something is not right if I'm not traveling. It could be for whatever reason. So I always find a reason. So this is something that you have to overcome. Like, you have to get used to, because for sure for another year, there is no much travel happening. And another very major thing with this new normal, or what do we call it, is many people will start feeling, loneliness. Like, they'll have this feeling that getting lonely because they're not seeing people. But this is something you can totally overcome as well. Because see, like me and Kareem just took an example. Since this pandemic started, we have spoken to each other more than in the past 3 or 4 years we've known each other.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, it's also because we wanted to do the podcast, but I think it's crazy because we wanted to do the podcast in general, and then when this happened, we were like, wow, this has just become a lot more important now.
Yeah, like we also have discussions without the podcast now, bro. And a big thing goes out to UAE opening up Zoom and all these video apps as well. But see, look at this. Look at the bright side, man. Being in Dubai, you never had Zoom, Skype, and all this kind of softwares, where you can do video conferencing and stuff. But because of the pandemic, they've opened it up. So honestly, I felt more closer to a lot of people than before the pandemic. Because so if people who are actually feeling any sort of loneliness,
that's crazy.
Yeah, literally, man. It starts from my family to it goes to my team members, because okay, every day we used to see people in the office, but since we started doing this end of day team huddles, there is a different level of bonding that's actually happening. Even you're not seeing them, but still you're speaking to them. I felt that I've become a bit more involved with more people, with my friends, with my teammates as well. So and lastly, this is something that everybody can actually, now we discussed a lot of the issues or challenges that you can face: uncertainty, isolation, loneliness, anxiety. For all this, go and listen to Obstacle is the Way. Like
Yeah, please,
literally.
guys. If you do
Yeah,
one
please.
thing, do that.
Yeah, so this episode is actually like a promotion for Obstacle is the Way, because
Yeah.
Obstacle is the Way, we have discussed everything, how to come over it. But one series of tip, that me and Kareem that we can actually share, I'm sure Kareem has a lot to add, is what we've all started having because of this pandemic is extra time in our hands. Okay, not if out of 100, maybe 20% of people might have gotten more busy, but rest 80% of the people have more time. And how we know this is
Yeah.
being in the digital marketing world, that engagement has gone like 1,000% in particular platforms. Okay, video views have exploded beyond.
People more have time to see your content. Yeah.
Yes, and this is the very
And
reason.
they need your content. Yeah.
And surprisingly, people listening to podcasts have taken like a 50-60% dip. This is why we are making video, because we know more people are actually going to look at videos. So we are actually, what we are saying, our money is where our mouth is, or what are we saying. So this is the very reason we decided. It's not that we do not have cameras. Kareem's whole life is around videos. So till date we did not start videos, but today the reason we are starting video is we know this is what is going to bring in more impact.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
definitely we are hoping more people will actually relate to this as well. So try to understand. So there is going to be a lot of disruption that's going to happen. So if you're sitting at home, you've lost your job, you're going to lose your job, you're feeling depressed or whatever it is, try to look at ways how you can actually ride this, this pandemic out in the best of ways. Like we've discussed this in Time is Power episode as well, how you can make the best of this time. So similarly, think whichever field you're in, there is a lot of disruption that needs to happen. The first
100%.
one tip I can actually give is if you're working, if you're not working, if you're planning to work, if you're planning to graduate, but now you're thinking, what will I do? Use this time to upskill. And guys, this is the single best advice I can actually give. Upskill yourself. Because so many people are thinking, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, or a lot of people are going to get redundant. Face this fact, like this is going to happen. There is no running around it. There are a lot of people who are sitting and saying, things are going to get okay. Inshallah, things are going to be fine. God willing, things are going to be fine. But, I just want to break it down. I'm not saying it'll be bad, but things are going to get worse. So definitely upskill yourself. Try to learn something new. So you can still benefit. Second tip, Kareem, what do you want to add?
I want to say 3 things real quick. Okay. Because when you talk, man, you just give me so many ideas on things that you have already said. I just want to go back to it because it's so important. So the first thing is, you said something which reminded me of a quote from Warren Buffett. He says never let a good crisis go to waste. Okay?
Yes.
He's like, when everyone is freaking out, don't let a good crisis, or let's say don't let a crisis go to waste. Don't let a good crisis go to waste. That's the first thing. The second thing is, so guys, please think about that. The second thing, it's not from us, it's from Warren Buffett. The second thing is, we keep saying, okay, the new normal. You know what, bro? And I don't mean to be funny at all, but it's kind of like the old normal. Why?
I think I'm sure you're going to be funny. Go on, yeah.
It's the old normal. Because
True.
yes, the whole Corona thing. Yeah, today we're calling it Corona. 9 years ago we were calling it, or what 9-10 years ago or 12 years ago we were calling it the Wall Street crash. Going back in history, I'm not that good at history, but there was other crashes as well. It's always, and for lack of a better word, it's always a different flavor of challenge. And yes, people will say, this is unprecedented, this has never happened before, so on and so forth. But if you think about it, whether you personally have been in that situation and you remember a previous crisis that went through, and by the way, it doesn't have to be a global crisis, it could have been a crisis in your particular life, and you have the skills, the toolkit to overcome that. Otherwise you wouldn't be here today. If you're listening to this, if you're watching this, you are lying to yourself if you say you can't do it. You have done it before. So think of it as, this is the old normal. This is when it was back in the day. And if it wasn't you, it was probably other people in your family. I'm sure all of us
I think you
have
just reminded me
stories.
of
Go ahead,
that
Jeff.
video. I think you had shared with me of Simon Sinek, yeah, about the infinite mindset. So in that, he's actually said if our lives were not 100 years, limited to 100 years or less, if we were to live 1,000 years, right, we've already surpassed 2 or 3 pandemics, which were even worse. So exactly what what Kareem is actually saying, we've already done it, and definitely we'll actually, pass this as well. So literally try to, this is honestly, it sounds wrong, but sort of try to make the best of this. No matter whatever situation you are in your
100%,
life, try to make the best of it. And lastly, I think Kareem, we are also around our time. See, one of apart from the one of the things that I've been speaking to a lot of people, there is a common thread, okay, where this usual behavior a lot of us human beings do when there's a problem, right? We try to slip it under the rug. Okay, we try to don't want, like, this is the elephant in the room
don't
right
talk
now.
about it.
Okay, use this, like, you have to address. Now, the way you address, for me, it will be different for each and every person. Where they are in their life is going to be different. So try and identify where you're actually at, and try to find a solution for that. So to wrap the whole thing up, today's whole discussion was about the new normal, or the way Kareem put it, the old normal, or going back to the way things were. Okay, so definitely there is going to be challenges. Be prepared for the worst. For example, you have to be ready for even things to get worse. We really hope things don't, but even if it's worse, you have to be in a place that you are ready to actually overcome this. So by saying that, definitely guys, if you are listening to this, if you are seeing this episode, you have to go back and listen to Obstacle is the Way. You have to listen to Time is Power, this episode. Okay, because all of these episodes connect to each other, and a lot of things have been discussed. And we really hope you guys, whatever struggles that you guys are actually going through, you guys find a way to overcome this. And most and importantly, you guys try to inculcate the right kind of mindset to actually overcome this as well. So with that,
because that's all that makes a difference at the end of the day, for sure.
What will make you a normal person and a superhuman? Like Kareem said about the Michael Jordan's example, like, it is completely, again, there is an example in Obstacle is the Way when our Thomas Edison, his factory burns. His factory is burning, and it's there in history. It was one of the biggest fires at that time. And all of Thomas Edison's life's work was actually burning and going up in flames. But our man over here, he's like, you know what? He's calling his son. It's like, hey, go and call your mom and call your friends. This is the biggest fire they will see in their life. They're never going to see a fire like this. So, just imagine, because he knows there is no point of actually stressing over this. So similarly, the pandemic is happening. The COVID-19 situation is happening. Many of us, a lot of things will happen to us, but try to make the best of it. So by saying that, we really hope, we hope you guys 100%. Like this, the video format. And moving on, we will try our best to actually put out every episode in video. So we would really love to get your feedback as well. And see, a lot of you guys, we've seen a lot of you guys have been steadily, consistently listening to the episode. Some of you have given us feedback. We've tried and incorporated. If there is any new episode or any new topic that you guys want us to cover, let us know. Me and Kareem are more than happy. Even we've offered this before. If you guys need some sort of help to, if you're going through some challenge with your work, with something like this, if we can be of help, we'll be more than happy to do some 5-minute favors. Isn't that correct, Kareem? Yeah, so that's all, guys. So we will catch you guys in the next episode. That's all from us from the Mindset Kitchen podcast. Take care, guys, and have a lovely week.